I guess we have to do a part 2 now, don't we? Last time on RobertIDK, we checked out TheOdd1sOut, a legendary animation channel. Legendary. That I, for some reason, had never seen in my entire life. Yet, these are animations with over 100 million views. So we are back looking at more, because this is essential viewing. Some of you guys were like, Robert, why don't you look at some of James's newest stuff? It's really good, he's gotten even better, whatever. We can't do that until we've had the essential viewing. You can't tell me Tabletop Games has 97 million views and Roommates has 96 million views and we can just skip over that. We can't just skip over that. We gotta do it. So my friends, that is what we are doing today. Strap in. We're looking at TheOdd1sOut. Let's go. Okay, guys, Tabletop Games, we gotta do this. This one looks like it's gonna get pretty intense, so I'm excited. I am very excited. Wow, a beautiful soundtrack, full motion animation.
I hate you! Oh, well next time, don't steal my Monopoly!
Ariana, give James your $200. You landed on his property.
No, he's in jail! I'm not gonna give money to a criminal! That's not how you...
Okay, all right. Violence from the very start. Good job, guys. We do not promote that in this household, but you have to let out your frustration somehow, I understand.
Mommy, why is brother screaming?
Shut the f***, Sally. You don't get to talk after stealing my last railroad.
Okay.
I wish I was never born! Me too! You think I wanted this?
Hi, what you...
Okay. I was not expecting the mom to have a complete meltdown as well. But yeah, what mother wants to go through this? You get games for your kids for them to get closer together and be nice. The last thing you want when you buy a game is to create emotional damage. That's the last thing you want. So I hear you, Mom. I get where I understand where the mom is coming from.
You think I wanted this?
Hi, what you all just witnessed is the phenomenon known as Family Game Night. Family Game Night plays an important role in the household dynamic, as studies have shown that families who participate in activities together form closer bonds and stronger relationships with each other. So try setting aside some time to play board games with your family. And if they beat you, cut them out of your life forever. Okay, have fun, you guys.
I like board games. I guess any game that doesn't involve me getting up and moving around, I'm a huge fan of. Also,
well, James, I hate to bring it up, but Creator Clash kind of gave that impression. You don't like the real life moving your body games. That's okay. Not playing sports is okay. That's how you get nerds like me and James here. Which, by the way, I learned that James's first name is actually Robert and James is his middle name. What is it with YouTubers named Robert deciding not to call themselves Robert? Am I the only one holding it down for Robert? And listen, you can call me Bo as well. That's totally fine. But am I the only one holding it down for Robert?
I guess there can only be one.
I guess any game that doesn't involve me getting up and moving around, I'm a huge fan of. Also, since I'm bad at everything and don't like playing games against someone who's better than me, I really love the games that don't require any type of skill, like the game Chutes and Ladders, which I just learned today has another name called Snakes and Ladders. And I'm going to call it that instead, because I'd rather draw snakes than shoots.
Yo, a nice meta moment right out of the gate. Dude, I love things like that. As a person who edits videos for like 6 hours a day and has been doing so for over 10 years, I love when the animator, the editor, whatever, brings you into their world. I love things like that. Is it just because I'm an adult? I feel like that's something that I appreciate more as an adult. Anyways, I always knew it as Snakes and Ladders. Is that a Canada thing? Is that a UK thing? Is it a part of the United States thing? Because this guy's from the States. Why doesn't he know Snakes and Ladders? Is that a regional thing? Let me know in the comments, honestly. Did you call it snakes or shoots? And what country are you from?
What country you from?
In Snakes and Ladders, you have no free will. You're at the mercy of a single dice.
True.
And I love it. While I was looking up walkthroughs for Snakes and Ladders, I quickly learned that this game was made for preschoolers, which is probably why it's so simple. Or how about the game Sorry, which is the most unapologetic game I've ever played.
Or as I call it, sorry. 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 Come on, guys. Come on.
Which is the most unapologetic game I've ever played. There's some strategy in that game, but most of the time you're just getting revenge on the players who've wronged you. And the creators of Sorry knew this because the tagline of the game is Sorry, the game of sweet revenge. Which, if you think about it, is a pretty funny oxymoron. Aha! Take this!
Sorry.
I know how to play chess, but like most things, I'm not very good at it. Unless I'm playing against someone under the age of 4, I don't want to play that game. Because it shows everyone how bad I am at planning ahead.
Dude, you're like me, bro. If you want to get your self-esteem back with chess, play me. Take me to the cleaners, boss. Take me to the cleaners, I don't care. Play me in chess and I will try and you will demolish me. I don't know what it is, people. Yet maybe I am not good at planning ahead either.
That's a game that's 100% strategy-based. It's like the IQ test of board games. Beating someone in chess will put you more ahead academically than anyone with a Harvard degree. And you'll get more babes. However, there is one exception, and that is it's okay to lose at chess if you're playing against a computer, even if it's on easy mode. Computers are way better at planning ahead than anyone. Because I don't know how, but a human made a computer that can beat the world's best chess player, but the creator of the computer can't beat the world's best chess player.
True.
So I guess that means it's game over. We tried our best, but we've peaked. Whenever you beat a computer in chess, it was going easy on you.
Oh no, it's true, bro. But a computer, okay, and as a creator, this whole AI thing is very, very scary. And I know some of y'all may be tripping because, well, Robert, your profile picture is part AI. It's part AI, part me. I still put it together. Computers can never give you exactly what you want. They still can't replace human creativity. There's certain things that computers can do, like win in chess every single time. Sure, but I don't care about that. Computer, automatically generate a RobertIDK video that's as good as this. You can't. So it's okay, I don't care. James, you whoop me in chess. Computers, whoop me in chess as much as you want. I don't care.
Imagine if we made a computer that could beat the world's best Snakes and Ladders player. I would pay money to see a Snakes and Ladders championship. And everyone watching knows that the person playing is just some Joe Schmo that acts like the world's best Snakes and Ladders player, but they're all still excited. And there's real snakes that you get to slide down? That would be amazing. Sign me up. While we're on the topic of chess, I want to tell you about this cool sport I discovered called chess boxing. This is an actual competitive sport where 2 players play chess for 3 minutes
and then
box each other for 3 minutes.
Wow.
And they keep switching between chess and boxing until someone either gets a checkmate, they run out of time playing chess.
What on earth? Is that for real? Those must be some of the worst boxers ever. Typically, skill in chess and skill in boxing. Actually, there are a lot of boxers who are really good at chess. I want to say for the average human, chess skill and boxing skill are 2 ends of the spectrum. You don't have both.
Switching between chess and boxing until someone either gets a checkmate, they run out of time playing chess, or they KO the other player. I love this sport because it combines 2 polar opposite games, and it's something that anyone can play. Brains over brawn. Try saying that after I sucker punch you in the... Oh, that was a good move. I'm gonna punch you so hard in the balls for that. I know I just said I was bad at chess, but if there's any YouTubers who want to challenge me to a chess boxing match, I will gladly take you to the ring, and we can charge people $12 just to watch. And we can end it in a draw, you know. So that way, you won't look bad in front of your fans. So Battleship.
Oh, that's why? Okay, so when KSI Logan Paul fight number 1 happened, it ended in a draw and a lot of people think it was rigged. I don't really think so. It's really hard to rig a boxing match that goes all 8 rounds or whatever. If you're gonna pay someone to take a dive to lose on purpose, if you're gonna fix a fight, the person's probably gonna go down in the first round, or at least the second round, or at the very least, they won't go to a judge's decision because the judges, well, they would have to be paid as well. And faking a fight for 8 rounds and trying to look like you are like actually throwing but not knocking each other out by accident, that would be so hard to do. So anyways, that was a big tangent, but what James is saying is that they made the KSI Logan Paul fight a draw so that neither of them would look bad in front of their fans, I don't think that would be it. If they were to fix the fight, it would be for the sake of being able to sell a second fight, which is what they did. But it's an interesting observation as well.
So Battleship, that's another board game, and it also got a big Hollywood movie based off of it. I haven't seen it, but I hope there's a scene where the captain of the ship goes, "Men, fire at D6?" And then there's an explosion in the distance, and then Rihanna, who is actually in that movie, says, "Sir, the alien sent a message."
Yeah, that's Rihanna's voice, James. What? Okay, here's how it goes. My Story Animated, when they're voicing a different person, they do a very crude little imitation. On ETU, they try to act it out as hard as they can. James just uses his same normal voice. If you want to think of two people with more opposite voices, James and Rihanna, okay? You could have tried something. There's a whole range of James trying to put a voice on. And he was just like, nah, I'll just be me. Rihanna's me for now.
"Sir, the alien sent a message. It says, miss."
Bro.
The captain goes, Someone write that down so we don't forget. Then there'd be an explosion at the back of their ship, and alarms start going off, and everyone on board starts freaking out except for the captain, and he goes, "Rihanna, send the aliens a message. Tell them, hit." Also, ask them if they think the situation would make a good board game. And if that scene is not in the movie, I hate it. Did anyone else collect a bunch of Pokemon cards but never knew how to play the game?
Yes, absolutely. When I was 5 years old was when the first Pokemon games and cards were coming out. And yeah, I did not know a darn thing of how to play them. And my local corner store sold fake cards. What? Like, this is like an original con. They'd make their own little cardboard containers, and the Pokemon cards would be like 20% smaller, and the print would be worse. And they were sold to kids like me. I can't imagine how much money they made selling fake Pokemon cards. And like, I had to come to school and all my friends were like,
"Yeah, bro, your cards are fake."
And me, who had grown as a 5-year-old, had gotten a connection to these cards. Just had to sit while a single tear fell from my face onto my fake Charmander. It's really hard being me as a kid, guys.
Did anyone else collect a bunch of Pokemon cards but never knew how to play the game? I don't think I met a single person who actually knew how to play the card
Charmander!
game, which was
Oh my
weird
gosh.
because in my school, the card game was just as popular as the video games. Kids would always show off their collection of cards and binders, and everyone always wanted the highly coveted shiny Charizard
Oh yeah,
card.
the Charizard.
You know which one
I
I'm
never
talking
got
about.
one.
You know which one I'm talking about. You know which one I'm talking about. Unlike Yu-Gi-Oh!, which had dedicated episodes explaining why these 5 pieces of cardboard were expensive, the shiny Charizard was rare, not because it was good in the game, but because everyone agreed that it looked cool. But then when you
It
ask
did
someone...
like 100 damage though. That was why that Charizard was so crazy. It did more damage than like any other Pokemon card. Seeing that 100 on the card, that was crazy. That's why the Charizard was so sought after.
But because everyone agreed that it looked cool. But then when you ask someone, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" They would say, "Okay, I summon my Charizard in attack mode." Does anyone even know how to play the Pokemon card game? I bet none of these guys even know what they're doing. How'd this guy win? He didn't even call Uno. I can't be too hard on the Pokemon cards because the card game I like is probably way more complicated than Pokemon.
Magic?
I don't know for sure because, like I said, I don't know how to play the Pokemon card game. But my favorite card game is
Magic.
Neopets.
Oh.
I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Kind of. I did actually own a lot of Neopet cards. I don't remember exactly how to play. I do remember you have to get 21 points to win, which got me into playing blackjack. But it's okay that I don't remember how to play, because no one else is playing this game. I wanted to find some footage of a Neopet TGC championship, only to come to the disappointing realization that no Neopet championship exists, which is sad. So if there's any YouTubers watching who want to fight my Scorchio, square up. Okay,
are you gonna get to the game you actually liked? You had me on the edge of my seat for like 30 seconds. Going on a Neopets tangent. James, I want to hear about the game you do like. Are we ever gonna get to that?
How long is this going to take?
Okay, but for real, the card game I like the most is Magic the Gathering. And fun little factoid, all 3 card games I've mentioned were created by the same company,
Whoa.
Wizards of the Coast. Hey, is that a Monopoly reference? I've been playing Magic since 2007, and back then the game was a lot more simple. Look at some of these more recent cards. First, see how many words are on them, and if we flip them over, they merge into an even bigger card. What? If you showed these cards to my 11-year-old self, I would have lost my marbles. My favorite thing about Magic is when Dick Garfield, was first creating the game in 1993, he didn't really have an accurate way of testing the cards to make sure they're all fair and balanced, and he ended up creating some of the most overpowered cards in Magic.
Whoa.
And players today refer to these cards as the Power 9, because there were 9 really good ones, which is why every single one of them is banned.
Wow. James has taught me something. I never knew anything about Magic the Gathering, honestly. That was one of those things. So the way I operate is I either get into something, and if I get into something, I get like obsessed with it and figure out everything. Or it's something I'm kind of interested in, and like I'll go through it, but I won't become obsessed. Anything else, I commit zero information to it in my brain whatsoever. So I know nothing about Magic the Gathering. The same way that when I didn't watch Game of Thrones, I did not care at all. So people would tell me spoilers left and right, and I would remember none of it. So even after all of that, I could watch the show and I had no idea who was gonna die. Because if I've decided I don't care, I know nothing.
Games play such an important role in childhood, and here's what they all teach us. In Magic, if you're really good at what you do, no one will invite you to their tournament. Monopoly, white-collar crime is okay. Battleship, just guess and check. Snakes and ladders, if you see a ladder, climb it immediately. And no one cares about Neopets.
Okay, that one was definitely more nerding out than I expected, but we got some classic stories out of that. That was pretty good. Personally, sooubway is still the favorite so far. So maybe we should do a whole video that covers the sooubway videos that we haven't seen, because we watched number 2 in the last one. Maybe we complete the trilogy in a separate video. Would you like that? If so, boop the like button on this video. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, well, that would be pretty cool if you did subscribe to the channel. You don't have to, I'm not forcing you. But if you've made it this far, clearly you're having a good time. So it would be lit if you joined us next time. Okay, my thoughts on roommates. All right, 10-year-olds, don't go running off yet. Don't go running off yet. I know you can't relate to roommates. You just have your mother and your sister and your dad, whatever you got, your uncle, whatever. Roommates are an adult thing, but I can guarantee, 96 million views says that there's some good stories in here. So I'm stoked. People, let's hit it.
You know, I never really understood trigger words until I got roommates. I hated my roommates. Except for you, Isaac. He watches my videos. Oh, James, you didn't hate your roommates. You just mildly disliked them. Yes, I did. When I first moved out of my house and went to college, the day I moved into my apartment and I opened the front door, this is what I saw. Keep in mind all the buildup that has gone into this moment. First, I had to get accepted into the school, then pick my major and classes. Then I had to find an apartment close to the school and get everything set up there. Then I had to pack everything up into a suitcase, kiss my dogs goodbye, and then be all on my own for the very first time. I opened the door to where I'd be living for the next 8 months, and this is what I see. Someone sleeping on a couch. He was wearing some bright fast food employee uniform. The TV is on. There's a Halo 5 poster hanging on the wall. The sink, counter, and table is full of dirty dishes. There's a big industrial-sized trash can that is overflowing. Inside the fridge, there is an empty box of Dr. Pepper, a bottle of ketchup, and a jumbo Costco-sized pack of hot dogs.
Okay, pause. That sounds horrible. I've had dreams, so I have had roommates. I was very lucky, actually very privileged. In my first year of university, because I had very severe ADD, I was allowed to be among the people to pick whatever residence they wanted. So in my first year of university, I got to go to the best single room place on the whole campus. It was a 4-story building and the first 3 floors were all triples. So it was 3 roommates in every single room. Everyone there had to do the roommate life, the bunk bed life, but I, on top, had a single where the room was pretty much the exact same size as the triple, but you get it all to yourself. See, this is one of the few times in my life where my ADD has directly benefited me. I gotta get it where I can, people. And so I didn't have to deal with roommates for another year, but it looks like James had it right out of the gate. And I know he's 2 years younger than me because he's talking about a Halo 5 poster. I was playing Halo 4 in my first year of university, no cap.
Inside the fridge, there is an empty box of Dr. Pepper, a bottle of ketchup, and a jumbo Costco-sized pack of hot dogs. Where did all these dishes come from? Fun fact, those hot dogs were still in the fridge when I left. But the worst thing that was there was about 1 million basketball cards just lying on the floor. I'm not even exaggerating, here's proof.
No,
okay, so I got a
wait,
single room
what?
because I brought all my drawing stuff, and I would feel bad if I shared a room with someone and he had to deal with all my drawing stuff being there, and also I wanted to be alone. Looking back, I'm so glad I got a single room because that room couldn't even fit myself. Literally, I could stand in the middle of the room, hold my hands out, and without moving my feet, I could touch the walls of the room.
Whoa.
Maybe I just have long arms, I don't know. I mean, I could settle for a small bedroom, but what made living there so horrible were the roommates. What I didn't realize is that these boys also got private rooms, so that means that they too were socially awkward and kept to themselves, which you might think is a good thing, but you'd be wrong.
Yeah, I think that actually adds up. The 4th floor of the building I was in, where it was all the single rooms, none of us were like the party crowd. On the first 3 floors, everyone was super social and always partied and did all this crazy college stuff, but we were so boring on the top floor, so I guess we were all kind of socially awkward.
On the first night of being by myself, I unpack all my drawing stuff and I set it all up, and then I turn on the computer and the screen is just black. Nothing was turning on. I tried everything to fix it and it just wasn't turning on. Eventually, I contacted the people who made it, sent it in, and then I got it back working. But during that week while the tablet was being fixed, like seriously, no joke, that was probably the worst week of my entire life. I'm being serious. Making comics and YouTube videos was what kept me sane. And that first night of being on my own and my tablet broke, I cried, guys. I couldn't even eat food. I was that sad. I hit rock bottom. I remember just watching Captain Sparkles and Game Grumps highlights all day. But then the day I got it back, I was a drawing machine. I posted a comic the very same day.
Wow, being away, that's how you know a guy loves what he does. Good for you, bro. If I had to be away from Adobe Premiere for a week, it would be the best week of my life. Not editing videos for a whole week, that sounds lit. That sounds lit if you ask me. But, I say that with a grain of salt. I am joking. I am so much happier when I get to post videos. When I'm fully disconnected from social media and from YouTube and y'all, I genuinely, it is hard. It is hard for me. I'm just not as happy. I feel like I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And so, I will say I kind of get what James is saying here. And while I've got you here, I want to say one thing really quick. People, RobertIDK hats are available for just another couple of weeks. If you want to get your very own RobertIDK hat, one of the realest and illest hats that you will ever see, go to robertidk.net and pick up your hat while they are still around. I ain't selling these things forever, okay? You gotta grab them while you can. The link will be in the description, or just type robertidk.net and it's right there. Back to the video.
The first person I need to talk about is Isaac. He was the only one that I like, and he's also the only one I told that I made YouTube videos. Now, this boy wore Obey hats, he vaped, and he said stuff like, "That's dope." But you wanna know why I liked him the most? Because he did the dishes. Like, me and him did the dishes. It wasn't just him, okay? I'd probably never become friends with him in any other circumstance. Just wanted to say that he was the cool one.
Cool. Yo, that's so true. You don't realize this until you're an adult who has roommates. I mean, I guess it maybe if you have siblings and they don't do the dishes, but then your parents make you do the dishes. Anyways, when you become a young adult and you live with roommates, you realize so quickly how awful it is if you have a messy roommate or a roommate who doesn't share dishes responsibility. It's crazy. I was always the best at dishes in my entire house because starting when I first had roommates, I made a vow. When I use a dish or I use a plate or a cup, as soon as I'm done with it, I wash it and put it in the drying rack immediately so that I never have to be the one catching up on all of the dishes. Not a single dish of mine would ever be left in the sink, ever. Because I have this thing where I refuse to make someone else's space messy because of me. Now, I live alone now, and so my house is a mess because I can't show myself that same respect. This is something I should talk to a therapist about, but I would never let myself be the messy roommate. And a few years ago, the last time I had roommates, I had a messy roommate, and oh my gosh, it caused some fights. It caused some fights.
Just wanted to say that he was the cool one. I like him. Hi, Isaac. I miss you. I was looking at this post on the internet, and it was where the old memes are today. And for the after picture for the Scumbag Steve meme, it looked exactly like my roommate, who I'll just make up a fake name for, Steve for convenience.
Wait, didn't you, is that not his face?
It looked exactly like my roommate.
Okay. This is the scumbag Steve picture. I thought he actually used a picture of his roommate and then is like, I'm not gonna say his name for privacy reasons. I thought that would be so funny. Just show his face and be like, I'm gonna respect his privacy. I wouldn't ever tell you his name. Who am I, TMZ?
Steve for convenience.
Steve.
I'm pretty sure I was roommates with a meme. Just put a fedora on this meme and boom, that's my roommate, Steve. And it was a very fitting meme too. This guy wouldn't do the dishes. He always cooked this ramen thing in the microwave and it would leave this gross juice stuff behind. So then when I would go to use the microwave, it would get my paper plate soggy. So I would have to check every time before I used it to make sure there was no juice stuff behind.
That actually grosses me out, bro. Food scraps is like, I have a weird anxiety towards food scraps, other people's food scraps. It grosses me out, it freaks me out. I have a weird anxiety. Like that is like, ugh. So stuff like that, when people make a mess of the microwave and there's like stuff all over the place, and you have to put your food in with that gross stuff. Oh my gosh, horrible.
And also at night he watched anime without headphones, subbed. Anime has a certain sound to it, I don't know if you knew that. It's like normal Japanese, but really emphatically. Luckily, it was usually late at night when he started watching, so I would just have to get to sleep before he started and I would be all good. James, why didn't you just ask him to turn it down? I did! One night I went into his room and I said, hey man, can you turn it down? And you know what? He did turn it down for that night. That night. That one night. The very next night.
That happens.
But you know, he wasn't too bad. He would spend most of his...
He's getting me with these. Okay, that's one thing I will say. In university, I did stay up late listening to music pretty loudly, and I was asked to turn it down once or twice, and of course I did because I don't want to disturb people. But the person who I shared the wall with typically didn't spend the night at our place anyways. She went to her boyfriend's place. But yeah, that's one thing I will say. I didn't bother anyone except I did listen to music pretty loud. But actually, so did my roommates, just not next to me.
But you know, he wasn't too bad. He would spend most of his time in his room playing video games, and I would spend most of my time in my room drawing. So except for the microwave juice thing, we didn't get in each other's way too often. Here's actually a funny story. So when I was filming the part in the vegan video when I crumpled up Oreos over Reese's Puffs, Steve walked into the kitchen and he saw me filming this sugary vegan concoction, and I just said to him, don't ask. Okay, so here's the roommate that I hated the most.
Oh, no.
His fake name will be Hunter. He was the one asleep on the couch when I first walked in, and he was the one who had collected all those billions of basketball cards. Just basketball cards, and he kept them all in the front room. What's the point of having sports cards when you can't even play with them? I mean, I spend money on Magic the Gathering cards, but that's because it's an actual game that you can play with friends.
Okay, let's not judge other people's things, James. No, I'm not someone who really cares for sports cards like baseball cards. I understand it though to an extent. It's like collecting stuff like that is kind of cool. There is something very nostalgic and cool about baseball cards. I personally have no interest, it doesn't matter to me, but I get it, pretty cool. But leaving them all out stacked, they showed the picture, the way they were stacked, that's terrifying. You just do... and everything is ruined. The bravery on that man to just leave it like that. Like my roommate, my messy roommate from before, he would leave out yogurt. He'd eat yogurt in the middle of the night, leave it on the kitchen table to like not be refrigerated, and then he'd put it back in the fridge and then he'd eat it again later. Crazy person, crazy.
I mean, I spend money on Magic the Gathering cards, but that's because it's an actual game that you can play with friends. What do you do with sports cards? I mean, I guess you can leave them in the front room of your apartment. Maybe one day your roommate might make a video about it though. He left his Mountain Dew bottles on the floor, he farted in public, he'd always complain that Steve didn't do the dishes, but he wouldn't do the dishes either. One time I was tired of doing everyone's dirty dishes, so I bought a big stack of paper plates for everyone to use, but Hunter took the paper plates to a party without even asking me, and he didn't even bring them back. But the worst thing this guy did, one day he told me, my ex-girlfriend doesn't want our dog anymore, so he's coming to live here. What? So this boy...
You can't just do that. You can't just do that. You can't just bring a dog. Listen, dogs are awesome. Everybody loves dogs, but like an unexpected dog can be bad. If you bring a new living creature, full size, into a home without warning the people, that's kind of a messed up thing to do.
So he's coming to live here. What? So this boy wants to bring a dog in an already very small, cramped apartment. I couldn't believe this. The dog's name was
so
Snoopy, and I
cute.
loved him. Hunter would put him in
Aw.
his kennel at night, but one night I was like, hey, Hunter, Snoopy can stay with me if you want. And then boom, from that day forth, I was the one taking care of Snoopy. Snoopy would now sleep in my room. I would be the one who took him out for walks, and I fed him slices of lunch meat.
Oh, bro. I love the way you draw dogs. This is the cutest cartoon dog I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Snoopy for life. Bro, can you draw my rats for me, bro? Together with your cute art style and my awesome lads, we can change the world's opinion of rats forever. Let people know that they're basically tiny dogs, which they are.
What was great was that when I would go into the kitchen and Hunter would be watching TV, he would call for Snoopy, Snoopy, Snoops, Snoops, but he wouldn't come. This dog would follow me everywhere. And then one day Hunter said, hey, do you just want to have Snoopy? I was going to get rid of him. And then I said I would take him. And then later that same week, Hunter moved out. He took all the toilet paper too. He basically gave me a dog. And of course I loved that dog. But we lived in such a small space and I was always busy with school and drawing. I knew these weren't the best conditions for a dog to live in.
Bro, thank you for giving us the real footage. I didn't think that was gonna happen. Heck yeah. What a crazy pattern of fur. This is like the weirdest fur pattern I've ever seen.
I knew these weren't the best conditions for a dog to live in, and I'm pretty sure my apartment didn't even allow pets. So I asked people I knew if they wanted Snoopy, and my grandma got one of her friends to take care of him. So I dropped Snoopy off, and I've never seen him since. And that's it, the end.
That's so sad. Is that real? That's really how we ended it? James, that's so mean. Go see Snoopy. We all want you to go see Snoopy. Is there a Snoopy update? Wait. Odd ones out, Snoopy. Okay, the dog is presumably alive. Wow, that's all the information we're gonna get on Snoopy. What can I say, people? 2 more classics. I gotta keep going with this. We gotta keep going with this, right? I personally think the first 2 are still my favorite so far. Maybe just because it was so new to me and I'd never seen it before. But these were also awesome. James, you're great. I'm very excited to keep watching your stuff with my homies here, telling wacky stories. These are great videos because in doing these videos, you get to learn a lot more about me. These videos are making me remember so many stories. It's awesome. So people, if you want part 3, you let me know. And if you didn't see it, here's the first time we looked at the Odd Ones Out. It is a great, super fun video. Check it out if you have not seen it. Here is the Odd Ones Out channel. Please make sure you have checked them out. They did all the hard work. I was just the silly guy saying the silly things. Or here's a video that YouTube thinks you'll like. Are they right?
Y'all let me.